Now on CoastTV News.
Breaking the record 35 days of drought with no end in sight, how the dry weather is impacting all sorts of things here along the coast.
PETA push for a permanent fireworks ban. You can't light up the sky with explosions right now due to the drought, but the animal rights group wants that to be a year-round rule.
Surfers helping surfers, how donated gear is making cold weather surfing safer and more accessible for all.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
The drought that just won't end, how Rehoboth Beach is conserving water in these dry times.
Good evening, I'm Christina DeRobertis.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with extensive drought coverage as we've just set a new record.
We've been covering this since September 27th. It's now 35 days without measurable precipitation, and it started with burn bans being issued. It's taking a toll on all areas across Delmarva. And as we take a live look now into the Ocean City area, our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams will join us for a look at the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening. Can't stress this enough. We haven't been this long without rain since 2001. 35 consecutive days. Fire alerts are very active, and that's a major concern for grass fires. And we're looking at more problems because I'm expecting for this drought to go beyond today into the latter portions of next week. We've gone 35 consecutive days without rain. That's had a tremendous effect on us to the point we're under a severe drought right now throughout all of Sussex, but now because it's been so long and involving all of the Delmarva Peninsula, it includes all of Delaware. Now, this is a look at how we've been grafting, what's been going on all month long. You know, we're down in the exceptionally dry category. We've had zero response from Mother Nature as far as any kind of precipitation is concerned, so we are now number one. Of course, the last time we had 34 days was actually in 2001, and it goes down to 95, 65, then 2012. So we've seen this kind of drought similar before, but now not only are we surpassing or clipping at 34 days, but we're likely to go into perhaps even 40 days in a row or more without having any measurable precipitation in our neck of the woods. And even as we begin to take a look at our 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, it still looks grim at best, Charlie.
Thank you, Paul. Weather coverage of this drought to our news coverage of the drought. We're now going to look at how this drought is affecting people like you, like me. CoastTV News reporter Brandon Ferguson live in Rehoboth Beach. Brandon, the city is asking people that live in Rehoboth to conserve water.
Here in Rehoboth Beach, this order just came in 2 days ago. And I spoke with people earlier on the boardwalk about this order, and they said their water usage will not change.
Shutting off water, that's what the city of Rehoboth Beach wants locals to do. This comes as it's now day 35 of no rain, the record-breaking day.
I'm hoping that it'll rain today, but I don't think we're going to get any.
Henry Motless, the director of public works in Rehoboth Beach, says water usage is very important to control during this drought.
Our water usage this year in October compared to last year was up pretty significantly. Also, to just be wise about water usage.
I spoke with people off camera about the city asking them to conserve water. They said they understand why the city is doing so, but will not put their own needs before the city's.
Now to Milton, where this drought has affected driving conditions. Milton local Gary Cook says he's seen additional dirt and dust coming up from construction sites.
So every day they come out and work, there's no rain to wash it down. Some mornings you can't hardly see across this road right here. This morning about 9:30, I couldn't see across the street.
Drought records will be set and broken every day from now until rain hits the pavement.
The city of Rehoboth Beach urges locals to be precautious when using personal irrigation systems. In Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, CoastTV News.
And as we continue with our drought coverage here on this record-breaking day, CoastTV reporter Zakia Jennings shows us how farmers are working overtime now to reduce damage, not just for this year, but for next growing season.
Dripping water under a 3-year-old tree. That's something that Joshua Nash and his business partner with Nash Veggies didn't think they would have to do during the fall. But with a record-breaking drought reaching day 35, Nash is left with no choice.
Trees they get stressed. This time of year, they're losing leaves.
And it's not just the trees that are struggling. Nash himself says the dry weather conditions are even causing him to feel cold-like symptoms from the dust. Meanwhile, Don Hallowell with Don's Tree Farm says he's starting to provide extra care to trees that he thought were okay.
We'll water this block of trees. Tonight, it'll run all night long. Tomorrow, we'll water this side. Extreme drought conditions call for extreme measures to keep crops watered and businesses alive as we march through the fall. Hallowell says that the buds on this tree here are perfect, and this is what he's looking for on other trees for next season's growth. And even though this tree may be 4 or 5 years old, by the time the weekend is over, he's pretty sure he's still going to have to water it due to this drought. In Greenwood, I'm Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
One ripple effect of this drought, the state fire marshal has put a temporary ban on fireworks, and now PETA, the animal rights group, they want that ban to be permanent. PETA says the explosion caused by fireworks are terrifying for animals and can even prove deadly, but some people with pets just aren't that worried.
Fireworks are awesome. How is that affecting anyone that's inside their house and not enjoying them? I wouldn't put my dog in that position. She would be in the house and she would hear the fireworks and she would make her opinion by barking, but it's not hurting her physically.
In a letter to the fire marshal, PETA is hoping that the state can opt for some sort of alternative type of celebration instead of fireworks. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's the most noticeable drought effect in your area?
Let's take a look at the updated results from the last news hour. Still, most people saying the most noticeable effect is brown lawns. A few saying low water levels, crop loss, and those water restrictions.
If you haven't voted yet, you can go do that really easy. Just go to coasttv.com or grab your phone, use our mobile app. We'll have updated results tonight on Coast TV News at 11. Ocean City is bucking back against Mother Nature in bold fashion. The town has lined the beach with brightly colored barrels to keep sand off the boardwalk. People are happy that the town is taking the issue seriously. They just wish officials picked a different color. Randy Austin is in the same boat. He's sure that these barrels filled with water to keep them steady are much better than keeping the sand at bay, but he does wish they blended in a little bit better.
But if they could maybe just make the color a little bit different to blend into the scenery a little bit, because it sort of takes away from the boardwalk,
And City Manager Terry McGeehan says that they went with orange because, well, that's the color they come in, at least since they are used in construction as well.
Early voting is still underway, and here are some of the stats as of this morning from the Delaware Department of Elections. All across Delaware, the grand total of early voters is 187,338 people. So far in Sussex County, a bit more than 73,000 have participated in early voting, and on top of that, almost 12,000 people have voted through absentee ballots, making the total of Sussex County voters 85,158 people.
Be sure to tune into Coast TV News on election night for our coverage of all the key elections here on Delmarva.
If you're serious about surfing on our coast, then you know that wetsuits, boards, and other surfing equipment, it can be pricey. That's why the Surfrider Foundation created the Wetsuit Exchange Program. It's designed to make sure that those people who want to surf, no matter their age, they can get gear regardless of their financial situation. We spoke with the vice chair of the Delaware Surfrider Foundation, who says this initiative was inspired by a personal experience. The Wetsuit Exchange will take place on Saturday at Rise Up Coffee Roasters in Rehoboth Beach from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
According to the Georgetown Fire Company, on Thursday, October 31st, around 7:30 p.m., there was a car accident at the intersection of Old Furnace Road and Rempner Road in Georgetown. You can see on your screen here, one of the cars actually rolled over due to the crash. The Georgetown Fire Company and Georgetown EMS Station 93 quickly went to the scene, though there has been no word yet on any injuries that were caused.
We're just getting started here on Coast TV News at 6.
Still to come, a vendor village at the Tanger outlets. What does that mean? You're going to have to stick around to find out.
And we have a drought dilemma as we set a new record for the lack of rain in our area, and the winds are picking up as well. That's going to make for a bad combination. I'll explain why coming up.
But first, this year's race for House District 14 pits two candidates who are both making their first run at public office. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
When your floor starts showing signs of wear and tear from all the fun and games, Carpet & Tile Mart makes it easy to afford and install new flooring within a week. Carpet & Tile Mart, available, affordable, at your service.
My dad, Mike Ramone, is a different kind of public servant. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. But I know from my own experience how much he cares about everyone. He's a great father and grandfather. You can see how much their futures matter to him. And he has the same passion for your kids' future. He's focused on fixing our schools and getting teachers and students the resources they need. What I can promise is he'll be a great governor for all of Delaware.
At Carpet & Tile Mart, we've got thousands of in-stock flooring solutions for every room. Now save up to 50% off, plus 0% financing up to 36 months. Hurry in before the sale is over. Only at Airbase Carpet & Tile Mart Flooring Supercenter.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
It has long been one of the safest state house seats for Delaware Democrats.
But as Coast TV News anchor Matt Pensick shows us, this year's race for District 14 pits two candidates against each other, both making their first run at public office.
The new, when the Delaware General Assembly convenes in January 2025, will be the representative from State House District 14. The question is whether the seat will remain in Democratic hands, or could we see a pickup by the Republicans if Rehoboth Beach Volunteer Fire Company President Mike Simpler pulls off the win. Simpler says he is running to be a fiscal watchdog.
The money side, I'd hope to see how it works exactly in Dover to where they're spending it, where they're pushing it to.
The current representative is the former Speaker of the House, Pete Schwarzkopf. The announcement he would step down after this term created the open seat election. Democratic primary winner Claire Snyder Hall recently had served as the executive director for the progressive organization Common Cause Delaware. And on that September 10th election night, she claimed her win was the signal of a new shift in the district.
We're at a period in our larger society where we are transitioning. The last of the baby boomers are starting to retire. And so I feel like I'm part of that change, a Gen X candidate taking her spot. And it's also, of course, with the changes that have happened in society with transitions is social media.
It's a diversity change to the area. It's where people are coming in here from out of state, from Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, wherever. They're coming here and they're bringing all the things that they think they should have here and we don't have here.
Both are taking their respective parties' positions when it comes to the issue of the state's big push to electric vehicles and the ban of new car sales by 2035.
I'm against banning all gas car sales. I think there should be an equal balance as the market pushes it. Right now we don't have enough generation to provide stable electric, even to run the pumps that you need to pump the sand up on the beach.
I think that, the market, people that sell products in our market economy, they adapt to market conditions. And so I think it's exciting to have incentives to have car dealers sell clean cars.
1980 was the last time Delaware State House seat 14 was won by a Republican. Let's fast forward to now, 2024, and the Democrats have a voter registration edge of over 6,000 in this district, and that is the obstacle Mike Simpler must overcome. It's also what Claire Snyder Hall is banking on in this election. For Coast TV News, I'm Matt Pensick.
Thanks to the drought conditions, we have fire weather warnings in effect in our general area, and we're drying out for an extended period of time, even beyond today's record-setting drought. We'll have details on your full forecast coming right up.
Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app today.
As a math teacher, Matt Meyer knows that Delaware's tax system isn't adding up. So he has a plan to fix it. Give middle-class families a tax cut, invest in schools, and lower costs. But Mike Ramone's plan gives tax breaks to the ultra-rich. which could cut education by nearly $175 million. Matt Meyer knows these numbers don't add up. He'll make state taxes fair so families can get ahead. Vote Matt Meyer for governor.
James left his home in Maryland and was driving to work in Dover. Carol left her home in Philadelphia and was driving to a party in Dover. When their paths crossed, Carol ran a red light and crashed into James. He was seriously injured and needed a lawyer, but did he need a Maryland lawyer, a Delaware lawyer, a Philly lawyer? Luckily, James knew who to call. With offices in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland, we have the right attorney for your personal injury case. Tip the scales of justice in your favor. Call Schwartz & Schwartz today.
Hi, I'm Kim Hoey-Stevenson, candidate for Delaware's 6th Senate District. I'm running to be a voice for our community and put people over politics. I'm committed to working in a bipartisan way to protect our open spaces, elevate our education system, and ensure government transparency. From clean water and fresh air to quality education and a thriving economy, we all want the best for coastal Sussex. I'm ready to work hard to make it happen. On Election Day, vote Kim Hoey-Stevenson. Let's build a brighter future for coastal Sussex together. Paid for by friends from Kim Hoey-Stevenson.
Foul odors, discolored water, are you running out of hot water more quickly? These are all signs of sediment buildup in your water heater. And as the buildup becomes more severe, it can even cause a premature tank failure. Flushing the tank periodically can prevent these problems. FH Fur has you covered. Get a water heater flush for $49. That's right, a complete water heater flush for only $49. Act now and get a plumbing inspection free.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
Hello everyone, my name is Emma Ludwicki. I'm Paige Ludwicki. And our stepdad, Mike Simpler, is running for the 14th District State Representative of Delaware. We believe that Mike will help to preserve the coastal Sussex County we all know and love.
Mike has always been the kind of person who puts others first.
He's tirelessly served as president of the fire department.
He understands the real issues people face here, and he's got practical ideas to help solve them. He's not just a great stepdad, he's one of the best people I know. Join us in supporting Mike Simpler for State Representative of the 14th District. Thank you.
Tacoma has a dominant legacy as America's favorite small pickup for almost 2 decades. Known for reliability and capability. Now buy a Tacoma with low 4.99 APR or lease an SR for $279 a month.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
Setting this record drought is not just statistically an interesting situation. It has several of the categories in which it affects us in so many ways, economically, as far as agriculturally, and environmentally as well. And so right now, we're still holding bone dry in Dover, courtesy of our Bay Health camera. Will drop to 60, mostly clear skies. Now, just to kind of remind you, we're talking about desperately dry conditions. We haven't seen rain since, September, the 27th to be exact. Burn bans are active, dangerously dry conditions. We have warnings in our surrounding areas, even though we're not technically under one here, but consider us that. And the drought continues. We're at 35 days and counting, and I expect us to count through the weekend going into next week. Now, you combine that with above normal temperatures that we've been tracking since, middle of October. And I mean, think about it. We have warmer than usual weather along with the lack of precipitation. And if you add winds into that, that makes for a trifecta of not so great conditions as far as getting out of this mess is concerned. We're at 73 right now in Rehoboth as well as Bethany Beach. It's 70 degrees currently in Milton and 71 in Seaford as well as Del Mar. Now we're getting a little bit cooler right now. Temperatures are going to drop closer to fall-like conditions. And this cold front's beginning to push through. And that was our last hope for not breaking this record. But that cold front is a relatively dry one. And we have fire weather warnings in effect for surrounding areas. But we're still plenty dry all on our own. And you add to that the small craft advisory off of the coast, meaning we're watching out for 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts, not only off of the coast of Sussex, but really around the entire Delmarva Peninsula. So you have the lack of rain, more wind, and elevated temperatures for the last few days, and a cold front that's pushing through that's really not helping much. So we are in the midst of a severe drought for us here in Sussex County. Now, keep in mind, that we are now numero uno as far as the driest periods are concerned. So the new record has been set as of today. Now, this drought and concern is now a statewide concern, not just here in Sussex County. Think about this. We've had no rain all month long, so we're 4 inches shy just from this month alone. And you tack that onto the other rain we've lacked, so we're 6 3/4 of an inch shy of our normal pattern of rain. Speaking of pattern, we are bone dry. We can only muster a 12% chance of rain by Wednesday, so we go out for 6 days and we may go back to our normal pattern. But in the most northern portion of our viewing area, for Saturday, we're looking bone dry and cooler. Go out 8 days. I'm reaching out even more so to try to find a little rain, and it's just not happening. The most southern portion of our viewing area staying cool and in the low 60s. So with that in mind, here's a summary. 47 for tonight, 64 for tomorrow, no rain, clearing out more on Sunday, no rain. And as you take a look at our Election Day forecast, we anticipate that we're looking for it to stay pretty cooperative, at least with the lack of rain for Election Day, even though we badly need it. Maybe, Charlie, and if we're lucky, a chance of rain on Thursday.
Now that it's officially November, it's time to start worrying about holiday shopping, but don't stress. You can get a head start this weekend at the Tanger Outlet Seaside. From 11 to 4, you can find one-of-a-kind gifts for people that you love with more than 50 local artists, boutiques, and small businesses. For more information on this and other events this weekend, check out CoastTV.com under the Cool Things to Do tab.
Football is back on Coast TV this weekend. You can tune in on Sunday for the Colts versus the Vikings. Coverage starts at 7 on Coast TV, and stay with us for hyper local news after.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Happy Football Friday, sports fans. We've got a Bayside North clash for our game of the night on DSN. It's the Cambridge South Dorchester Vikings and the Easton Warriors, and this game will be a battle of the quarterbacks for Easton. It is Michael O'Connor, which leads his team to a 6-2 record for the Vikings. You've got Anthony Hughes leading his team to an undefeated record. This game live right now on the Delmarva Sports Network. And we've got more action, this time in the Henlopen Conference. Lake Forest is coming off pulling one of the biggest upsets on the year after beating Woodbridge last week. Laurel coming off a tough loss to their rival in Delmar last week. Both teams focus to win here on out to make the DIAA state playoffs. Kickoff for this game at 7 p.m. And we've got action on DSN Plus at 7 p.m. Delmar taking on Milford. The Buccaneers need a win tonight to stay in the playoff race. And Dover will take on Cape Henlopen. Both teams bounce back from losses a week ago. Tune in the final score tonight at 11 p.m. for highlights of all these games and so much more. That'll for us for now. Have a great night, everybody.
The holidays are coming fast.
Imagine greeting your guests with a beautifully refaced kitchen without having to tear out your old cabinets.
We'll reface your cabinets with 5 layers of high-quality hardwood in your choice of color,
including new doors, drawers, and hardware, all for half the cost of a full remodel.
completed in as little as 3 days.
Right now, save 20%, get a free microwave, and pay as little as $100 per month. Call today and get your kitchen completed by Christmas.
Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
Weather is sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration, your storm damage experts, here to help now.
PG County's full of corrupt politicians. Then there's Angela Alsobrooks, a tax cheat for over a decade, skipped out on paying her bills. Now an investigative report shows Alsobrooks operated in a legal rental property for 10 years. Did Alsobrooks pay any taxes on her off-the-books slumlord scheme? What do you think? Prove it, Angela. Maryland deserves better. Maryland's Future is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, Delaware. Bet Rivers and Valley Casino are bringing betting on football to your phone. From props and in-game betting to the spread and the money line. It's all on your phone and it's all a touchdown. Plus, right now when you sign up, you'll get a second chance bet of up to $500. So huddle up, Delaware, with Bet Rivers, Valley Casino, and football on your phone. Download the app today.
Make sure your neighborhood feels like home with landscaping and property services by Herker Property Maintenance. We combine science and art to create and maintain the landscape masterpiece you've always dreamed of. We can handle the largest developments and commercial properties all over and provide a consistent data evaluation to keep your property perfectly maintained. Clean, innovative, fast, reliable, from landscaping to pavement services and everything in between. Take an innovative approach with Herker Property Maintenance.
Coming out of COVID, the cost of everything has gone up. I am an independent. Larry Hogan, being a Republican in a Democratic state, he represents Democrats, he represents Republicans, he represents the people of Maryland. He has a common sense ideology. He wants to cut back on the taxes, cut back on the bridge tolls. Those are what's affecting us on a daily basis. He wants to see the people of Maryland successful and financially secure.
Stand with Governor Hogan. Join our team by donating today.
I'm Larry Hogan, and I approve this message.
Feel the magic of the season as you wander your way through an immersive winter wonderland at Ocean City, Maryland's Winterfest of Lights. Let imagination flourish at Northside Park with thousands of twinkling lights and larger-than-life animated Christmas scenes. Sip hot chocolate, snap a photo with Santa, and enjoy the array of holiday exhibits under the illuminating holiday lights. Find your magic at Winterfest of Lights, an Ocean City, Maryland family tradition. Open November 21st through December 31st. Get tickets at ococean.com or Northside Park.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
Here's a quick look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling extended forecast. If we're lucky, we may get a shower in here by Thursday.
Well, thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, for more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News, that's up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.